Being nomadic, like I've been for the last 5 years, it's not that I don't have a home, which is true. I don't have a house, but it means that my home is wherever I find myself right now. And right now, I find myself in a very beautiful home made by God the Creator. And instead of chandeliers, I have a sun. And instead of a door to keep things out, I have animals that come and go. And instead of a dial on the wall to control the temperature, I have whatever the conditions will bring. And I find myself being very grateful for just the simplest stuff. Like when the sun is up, I can travel. And when the wind's not blowing, great, I'm not going to get tossed into the lake again. And, when animals come across my path, it's really neat. I saw a hawk swimming the other day, which I'd never seen. It was like playing injured. I think I was getting close to her nest. And then that raccoon come out of its burrow and the beaver coming into my camp. I like that sort of stuff, and I'm as uncomfortable as it is to live outside. I would never see that stuff if I shut myself behind a wall with a door. And I might not be able to live this way forever. Doubt that I will. That this is part of my life, but this might not be my whole life. Living out of a tent and a kayak, this will come to an end too, as all things do. But I'm very grateful for the time that I have out here, even as just challenging as it is. So being out here has really grounded me in the reality again and again, every day. One, that my choices matter because they have real consequences. And that if I do something wrong, I feel 100% of those consequences. There's no one else to blame. And there's no one else to be affected by those things. And number two, just that sense of acceptance for whatever is, because I'm in control of none of it. Pretty much I can have a good attitude and I can give it my best effort. But everything else is out of my control. The conditions, the shorter days as the sun retreats into winter, the colder days for the same reason, and whatever the conditions are on the lake. I'm not in control of any of that. My freedom, my resources, my health, those things can all be taken away from me. So every night that I live through and every day that I travel on, I'm grateful for. Because being out here, it's so the simplest things, just daylight, warmth, an animal encounter, being able to get a fire going. Those are the things that bring me joy. And that might be one side of living nomadically that isn't obvious, because technically I give up a lot of things to be out here, like a bed, a roof, a kitchen, electricity, a vehicle that has an engine. All those things I don't own any of those things, but I think I get so much more by coming out here and giving those things up. Maybe it was a sacrifice at one time, but I think going back to them, I'll be tremendously grateful for the smallest things when I do start living in a building again. Just light, warmth, walls to keep the wind out, a kitchen where I can refrigerate and prepare food. It'd be impossible to take those things for granted after living without them for so long. And it's always good to know that I have a home out here if I never get that building to live in. Because God the Creator, the great builder of all things, really done a spectacular job with these lands that I've traveled through. And I will never be able to replicate that, even if I build a mansion with chandeliers and fireplaces and heated floors. It will never come close to just what is already out here. And I find myself this evening especially, and every other day, being very grateful for the freedom and the opportunity to be out here, living in this home, at least for a short while.